Good enough, vatos. Thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. We're going to be looking at the Scout lineup. I just test rode the Rogue. I'm a fan. I like the overall look, the styling, the price. You know, it's a lot better than the Nightster, that's for sure. It's got a slightly larger tank, I believe, or is this a 3.5? Oh no. The Chief has a 4-gallon. Sorry about that. Anyways, overall styling, man, I loved it. You guys can see the big wheels. It's got that quarter fairing that Indian just developed recently. It's a good looking bike. It's been performing well. It's been around the powertrain has been around for over 6 years now. It's 2016, and then Victory, they also had a similar powertrain, so it's it's proven. So I've been seeing a lot of these bikes lately here in my area. It's a popular bike, priced perfectly. This is something that I would have liked seeing the Revolution Max priced around closer to the $10,000 mark. But anyways, getting straight to it, I believe you should be getting the Scout, the bigger displacement one. I don't think the 60 is a good deal, and I'll tell you why. It's mainly because of the performance. Typically we put a stage 1 in this, a tuner, exhaust, and air breather, and you're looking at somewhere around $2,000. The tuner's going to run you about $500-$400 depending on what you get. The pipes, that's going to cost you around, like I said, depending on what you get, anywhere from $700. You could go all the way up to almost $2,000 HPI. A couple out there that the Jekyll and Hyde, that one I believe it's almost like $2,000. Just depends on the one you're looking at. So yeah, tuner, air breather, and your exhaust, that's typically your stage 1, and you will not get that performance kind of like what you see here with the 60. So this one I believe is 78 horsepower. All right, so we're talking about 78 horsepower, and for just a little bit more, I mean, how much is that? Maybe about a little bit over $1,000. But this is $12,749 and this is $11,249, so a little bit over $1,000. You're looking at a performance boost of what is that, 30 horsepower compared to this one. Oh no, that's 20 horsepower. So on my Lowrider S, of course, I did a stage 1 on that, and man, like I said, pipes, air cleaner, $2,000. Tuner, you're looking at about $2,000, and it's only performance increase of about 9 torque, 9 foot-pounds of torque, not even 10 horsepower. And this thing alone, like I said, just the Scout, I mean, the bigger displacement, of course, this is, I believe, 69 cubic inches. Yeah, 69 cubic inches. So not only that, but you get to say, my bike has a 69 cubic inch V-twin, so 69, that's a good number. But I mean, that alone, just the performance alone, it's worth it, guys. It's a little bit under $2,000. You get a performance increase of, what was it again, 22 horsepower. You're not going to get 22 horsepower out of a stage 1 on any bike regardless. So you're looking at numbers around, to get that kind of a performance bump, you're looking at probably a stage 2, depending on what you have, of course. And now we're talking about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get a performance similar to what you get with going from the 60 to the 69 cubic inch Scout. So that alone, like I said, that should be definitely worth the money. Just it's just my 2 cents, because like I said, you're not going to get performance like that out of any stage 1 out there. I don't care what you say, what type of pipes and an air breather, you're not gonna get 22 horsepower for under $2,000. It's just not gonna happen. Reason number 2, not to drag this on too much longer, but reason number 2 is you have a 6-speed on the Scout. So on the 69, of course, you have a 6-speed transmission, and on the 60 you have a 5-speed, so it's a little bit more friendly as far as highway miles. Of course, you're not running at a high RPM. I mean, you could run this, of course, on the freeway. I've I've done it with my Roadster, with my Sportster. I took that thing out, went long range on it, 5-speed, not a big issue. It's just that you're running at a higher RPM, so wear and tear, it adds up a little bit more because you are running that engine at a higher RPM. So wear and tear is something that you might come across. It just depends, of course. Like I said, you could run it no problem. I'm 180. I'm not I'm not 200 plus, so it depends on your weight. If you're a heavier rider, of course, this is, like I said, this is going to depend. Depending on the bike, this one likes to be around north of 3,000, 4,000 RPM, so it might not be a problem. And it only comes down to the RPM and your fuel efficiency. Higher RPM means you're burning more gasoline, and having that sixth speed, you'll be able to maintain the RPMs a little bit lower, depending on your weight, of course, and how fast you're going. So if you're doing 60, 70 on the freeway, then maybe your RPM is going to be at 2,000, 3,000. Compared to a 5-speed, you're going to be probably at that 5,000, 4,000 RPM range to maintain that level of speed. But in my opinion, I believe they should have offered probably a 4-gallon tank with the bigger displacement Scout, mainly because you have that 6-speed. You could potentially do a little bit more long range ride. So I would have liked to have seen a 4-gallon tank in this not this one, but of course in this setup. I believe I would have liked to have seen a 4-gallon tank, something a little bit larger than 3.3. But anyways, it's a good looking bike. I believe this is probably the best deal out of all of them. Of course, $12,749. You have a little bit of a wind protection. You have some good handlebars, mini apes on this one. Comfortable bike. It just needs that suspension upgrade. In my opinion, the suspension in this thing is complete crap. Just like most Harleys. all of Harley's suspension is complete crap. So let's get into, I guess, the difference between some of the models. Like I said, this is probably my favorite one. I ride solo all the time. I don't, my loved one doesn't go with me on my bike ride, so I don't ride 2-up. I don't need it. And like I said, overall style, color options, the wheel design, everything for $12,749, performance 100 horsepower. This bike is fun. I like it. Moving on to the more expensive one, I believe is the just the Indian Scout. This one, I was at the event, at the demo event. People were talking about what this has, what that has, and I don't know. Some people don't really know the difference of these models. Of course, this one's $13,249. You're probably wondering, why is this more expensive? Honestly, I don't know. They have a 2-up seat on this one. I don't really think that's worth anything, because typically these stock seats are garbage. That passenger, of course, the passenger area, there isn't a lot of cushion on there. But what this one has, it has more of a traditional style. You have that full fender, but I'm not huge fan of this overall look. And you have passenger foot pegs on this, and a 2-up seat. Like I said, not a big deal. That's in my opinion, that's not worth the extra $500-$600, because typically you would have to change some of these components to get them to perform a little bit better. And regardless, you have a 2-up seat on this one. You have passenger pegs, but you have the same suspension. I already told you guys the suspension on this is complete garbage. So I would rather spend that $600 and upgrading the suspension, and probably swapping the seat maybe. But I believe I would probably focus on improving that rear shock, or those rear shocks. That's just me. And let's move on to the 20. When I was at the event, someone mentioned, because the 60, of course, you have the 60, so it's a smaller displacement, and somebody in the group on the demo event thought the 20 meant you have a smaller engine, and that's just not the case. I think Indian probably messed up on this, labeling this the 20. People automatically believe, wow, that's going to be the smallest, the smallest performance, the smallest bike that Scout or that Indian has, but that's just not the case. It's just styling. You have the taller handlebars, you have the laced wheels in the front, so it's got that bobberish. It's kind of a difference of a bobber and a I guess a Rogue, kind of, because you have that same handlebar setup on this one. You just don't have the fairing, and of course the beautiful wheels from the Scout Rogue. But like I said, this is going to depend on you. This is going to depend on your style and probably what you want to do with your build. It just depends. I mean, if you're looking at a little bit more 2-up, you have the Scout. Somebody in the group, somebody at the event was there test riding bikes, and he had this kind of setup like my old Sportster with the saddlebags and a larger fairing on the front, a little bit more touring wise. But I mean, like I said, it just depends on what you're looking at doing with your build. It just depends on where you want to start out from. I believe the Scout Rogue, this one right here, is a good start. You could put passenger foot pegs on this, but normally these bikes are not known for that. I wouldn't recommend getting this bike for 2-up riding. I've always mentioned this in a lot of my videos. What is your riding style? Are you riding solo? Are you riding town? Are you riding little highway? It just depends on what you ride and how you ride. So I believe having this will give you a little bit more leeway as far as long range. You have performance. You guys are going to be riding 2-up, so you want that extra 22 horsepower, so you could, of course, have your loved one or your partner go along the ride with you, and you want to have that performance, as just in case you need to get up and go. You're overpassing somebody. You have those 22 extra horsepower. So I believe this is a good start. It's a good canvas, in my opinion. Of course, like I said, it just depends. If you like that old school style, you want a little bit of that laced wheel, kind of like what you get with this one, or that bobber. I don't have the bobber one set up here. I mean, it's a little bit cheaper than this one, of course, but I believe it still has that big front fat tire, and I believe it's got the mag wheels on the bobber. So, and I believe it's got mid controls. So these are usually Fords. But, I mean, yeah, it's a good-looking bike, guys. So, you guys, maybe that'll help you out. Just my own 2 cents. This video is getting pretty long. Trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone on this one. But, anyways, enough rambling. Just wanted to give you guys my own 2 cents. And my own reasoning why the Scout, the bigger displacement, the 69 cubic inch, the 100 horsepower package, 6-speed is the better deal, in my opinion. So if you're out there, let me know in the comments. If you're looking at these bikes, which one are you, kind of leaning towards? Are you leaning towards the Rogue? This is something that I do like. You have a few different, color options. You could also get ABS on this thing, for an extra, $1,000, a little bit under $1,000. You have a couple good options here. You also have this gray color one, which is, I believe, one of Harley's, popular colors right now, the gunship gray. They call this the stealth gray. So it's a little bit of a two-tone, and I mean, it just looks good. I like the overall design of this new Indian Scout. So you guys, just like I said, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys are planning on getting, or which one are you leaning towards. You guys just stay out there, stay safe, don't believe everything you read. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.